What's up, everybody, and welcome to Straight from the Dome. This is episode number 9, and we have made a little change. We're going to start doing our recap and preview in one show. So, this is our show for this week. As always, I'm Augie, and joined by my buddy Bray. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? How was your weekend?
Wasn't bad. I was a little sick, and had some fun though still, but need to catch up on some sleep. But great game to watch. I know it
Oh
was a great
man, it's
great
like,
game to go to. You were there, I wasn't, but
yeah.
you can talk about that if you want.
No, man. I mean, what kind of sick were you? Like puking or what?
I just had a little bit of a cold, and then adding on, the old college weekend onto that. Just
It's hard to drink with a cold.
it
That's
did
no lie.
not make for a great weekend for me, but I had fun and watched the game nonetheless. So, but you were at the game, a little cold, little rain, kind of like 2012, maybe a little colder. I would assume.
Well, hey, I'm glad to say that I kept the tradition alive of riding home in my underwear from
That's
the
right.
game due to extreme wetness and cold and not wanting to sit in my wet jeans. So, we kept that tradition along with our buddy Cam, and that was fun.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah,
Yeah, I had to keep that
2012.
going.
It was, I believe it was you, me, Cam, and then Alexis. She had to feel a little awkward in that car of man and their man stink. But anyhow, what was the stadium like Saturday?
Hey, it was good. I had a really good time. It was packed house in the first half. Obviously, some people went home. I mean, there was a good, I don't know, I'd say 5 to 8 thousand people left. The upper bowl was a little bare. I mean, noticeably bare, but not so much from like I watched a little bit on TV today. I couldn't for some reason now I can't watch all the NBC reruns because I don't know. It told me that I had to sign in on my cable or something, and I didn't know any of that information, so I couldn't really watch all of the game that I wanted to on TV.
Hmm.
But from what I could see, the stadium looked good. It sounded good on TV, and inside it was loud. It was electric. It was exactly what you would want it to be. For that type of game, big game, top 15 game. Stanford's always big, physical, tough. They're never gonna just roll over. So, crowd really got into it. There were some times where the crowd was out of the game for a good portion. There was a good set of time where it was like, man, you could hear a needle drop in this place. Um, but they picked it up when they needed it, the loudest part of the game was in obviously in the fourth quarter, and that was when 5 to 8 thousand people weren't there, and that was one of the loudest I've ever heard the stadium. I would argue that Michigan this year was probably the most electric atmosphere I've ever been a part of there, and probably USC the year before was really really good. But overall, people talk about all the time, hey, stadium um, atmosphere, it's easy to come and play at Notre Dame. I can tell you that the people, whoever's playing the music, obviously, whatever, they overplayed a couple things, but it's like, I mean, they've done a really good job, and they're really getting the fans involved. And I don't know what a jumbotron will do to help that or not. I really don't care. I mean, if a jumbotron's there, that's great. At the Shamrock Series, it was nice seeing a jumbotron, but they didn't really use it all that well. And like, if there was a big play or whatnot, you could see a replay, but I don't know. They didn't utilize it to the best that they possibly could. Um, so I don't know if that could help fan experience or not, but it was good. The atmosphere was amazing. I was talking. We tailgated all day with some of the down the tunnel people, and we can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I talked to Jimmy Harlow, who pretty much hosted the entire tailgate after the game, and he goes, "Man, that is the reason why you go to a game," and he was spot on, and I just can't get that out of my head because it's true. And he said to me, "Hey, that people can sit at home all they want in their nice warm couch, and we can all be freezing balls in the stadium, but that last play in this game is exactly why you go watch a game in person." And it's exactly right, and it was awesome. It was a great thing to witness. Those last 3 to 4 minutes were just amazing, amazing college football to watch, and that's exactly what college football is all about. um where'd you watch the game?
I was at home in my apartment, and actually had some buddies from home come up and Saturday, so we watched the game together, and on my nice, comfy, warm couch. So, but I'm one of those guys that would much rather be at the game. I love the stadium. I love the atmosphere. I love tailgating. And I love it all. So, definitely would trade my warm couch to be freezing at the game and
Oh, it's
no.
worth it every time.
Oh, absolutely. The year 2012 when I didn't miss a home game, it was an awesome year, a year I'll never forget. So, um, but anyhow, well, let's move on here a little bit. Let's recap the game a little. We'll start with offense. Sorry, I was getting our pickup games while you were talking there.
Yeah, you didn't really come prepared, did you?
No, I'm sorry. I was in a meeting till about 9:15. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
not really prepared either.
so we'll start here just
Have you
with
been hooping down there?
yeah. I haven't hooped as much. I've played a couple times, but fraternity basketball starts up here in about 2 weeks. So I'm going to start after homecoming week this week. I'm going to hit the rec about every day, start hooping. So
Is it the same without your boy right here?
no, I can't run the court with some random guys. Plus the guys from Indy, they're good. They're real good.
Yeah.
I don't even go over to court one. It's not even my place. So they always wonder what's that white boy from the country doing over here trying to play with us.
Yeah, 6'4" guy who stays around the 3-point line.
Hey, I know my game. All right, well we'll start with Everett. On his best game, stat wise, 20 for 43, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a QBR of 52. It's tough to read him sometimes. I don't know if you get the same vibe off him because he'll come out one drive and be electric. He's making plays, he's doing things right, and then he'll come out another drive and it's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's tough to read him sometimes. I didn't think he had an awful game. It wasn't his best by any means, but Stanford's defense is pretty good too. I'll give him that. So
Yeah, they were number one.
exactly,
They were the number one defense in the
best
country.
defense in the nation. Yeah, right. So I didn't expect him to come in and throw for 400 yards and run for 3 touchdowns. So I don't know. The thing about Everett, and I was talking about this with some buddies after the game. I made the comment, well, that was a busted coverage by Stanford. Really, he should have never been wide open. And somebody made the point, yeah, but you got to give Everett credit for making a play happen there by flushing out. And I realized that is the thing that is great about him. He's a great playmaker. He makes things happen on his feet and on his feet to open up receivers. So, and that pass he put right on the dime to Koyak, and Koyak made an excellent catch. So, if you want to talk about Everett, go ahead. It's hard to read him, man. I don't know what sometimes.
First, I want to say hi to our viewer that we have. We have one live viewer right now.
Very nice. Nice.
I don't know, whoever it is, please mention me or Augie on Twitter.
Tweet at us.
We can say hi. Yeah, I'll say this real quick. It's for, I don't know, 85% of that game, it was sloppy. It was a good football game, but it was sloppy, etc. And to me, in my head, all I kept thinking, until when they scored, they got in the I formation on 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line and ran it right down the middle that you could pretty much drive a Mack truck through. I just could not believe that we just let them walk into the end zone like that. And at that moment, all I kept thinking to myself, I was not very optimistic at all, and hate me or whatnot, I just wasn't. But after that, I'm thinking to myself, Everett has single-handedly lost us this game. Because up to that point, he was playing, he had the flu, okay? We can give him a little bit of leeway there. But he made some really dumb decisions, and he had 2 key turnovers. One was they gave him a very short field, and we needed about 10 or 12 yards to score. And the other one was deep in we were about to score, and it looked like he was trying to throw it away, but it was a really horrible attempt at that. But I was thinking to myself, Everett has single-handedly lost us this game. And he had a Heisman moment. He had a Heisman drive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me confused here because he's not a Heisman Trophy candidate to me. But if it weren't for those previous plays and mistakes that he had made, that was the definition of a Heisman drive. So, it's great to see him make that play. And initially, while I was watching that play, I was in the opposite end zone, so he was looking right at first, and the whole time in the play, I was watching a mirror, and I can't remember who else was over there, but it looked like he initially stepped up, okay, and then I was like thinking to myself, okay, he's gonna make a throw, and it looks like he's making a confident step into the throw or whatnot. You know, he's making a decision, and
Hmm.
it was a quick decision. So to me, I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. So he steps up, and then all of a sudden he kind of comes back and bounces left, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to look, I'm scrambling, looking to see where he's going, and he just launches it, and I didn't even see Koyak in that corner. And for I don't know, I'm blind or whatever, but he was standing there wide open, and he threw it, and that place just erupted. It was unreal. It was one of the best finishes I've ever seen. I mean, the UCLA with Quinn and Samardzija was amazing as well. But I mean, come on, that has to be one of the best finishes that anybody's ever seen in person, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. It was on TV. He just threw the ball up, and I was thinking, man, they must just be going tip drill. We're getting desperate now. And then you just at the last second, you see Koyak just standing alone. Nobody's by him. And then I'm thinking, oh God, don't throw it out. That's stay in bounds. And Koyak made a great play on the ball. So yeah, it was a great drive by Everett on that last drive. But definitely just a lot of mistakes again, kind of like the Syracuse game. So
Ton of drop balls. It's just
yeah,
like,
right, yeah.
how many drop balls do you think we had? Like 10? I mean, it had to
I
have
would,
been.
yeah, I would imagine. But you could also blame that on the weather. I know I don't want to absolutely blame it on the weather, but that could play a little effect into
Oh
that.
no,
So
it was misting slash. I mean, I wouldn't say raining, but it was a solid mist the entire time, and that's just annoying. I mean, he clearly had some throws that were um, very. You could easily attribute the rain or slash conditions to because they were just god awful. Just
absolutely.
throws that he would normally never make.
Yeah. Hey, want to give a shout out to Mr. Rollins out there. Thanks for tuning in live, bud. I just saw that you tweeted at Bray. Miss you, man. Can't wait to get up to Fair's party with you a little bit.
That's ER Mike for
Yeah,
anybody who
ER
doesn't know.
Mikey. ER
ER
Mikey.
Mikey.
Hey, I want to hear some hoodie, man.
I'll let him tell that story.
I'm not gonna tell it.
I'm not either.
Um, I wasn't even there. Um, all right. Well, let's enough about Everett. There's just not a whole lot to say about him. I think we've beat the horse a lot on him, so I want him to have a bounce back game against North Carolina, and hopefully he does that. So we'll move on to rushing here. Um,
I mean, look, he's a winner. I mean, Everett is a winner, and
oh
like
yeah,
I don't want
absolutely.
to hit. You know, you said you want to move on, but I want to say it.
Okay, go ahead.
Everett's a winner. He's 15-1 as a starter. His only loss is to Alabama in the national championship game, which he really didn't play that bad in.
Never lost a
Um,
regular season game.
yeah, I mean, he's a proven winner, and it's great to see, and that's exactly what you want as your quarterback is he's not dwelling on his two interceptions or his one interception and fumble or whatever the case may be that game. Same thing in Syracuse. He made mistakes early, came back and completed 25 passes in a row, and had a very solid statistical game, minus his early mistakes. So you see that, and you can see guys across the country that happens to, and they dwell, and they can't get their head out of their ass the rest of the game. So it's like that's exactly what you want to see out of your starting quarterback. So look, he's a winner. He's 15-1 as a starter. I don't want anybody else back there. And people were saying, I want to see Malik after he
No.
fumbled again. It's like, dude, come on. Like, do you realize what you're saying? Like, I understand Malik's probably a solid football player, but no way would I ever replace anybody on our roster, or I don't know anybody in the country rather that can sling the ball as well as Everett. Like, I honestly don't think there's anybody that can sling it as well as he can when he's on.
So, all right. Well, let's move on to rushing then. Cam was the had the most carries. He had 15 carries for 41 yards. Everett had 7 carries for 34. Procyse had 1 carry for 26. Greg Bryant had 6 carries, sorry, for 14 yards. Folson had 3 for 14. So it looks like Cam was the guy that got most of the carries. Do you think we ran the ball effectively? I don't.
I don't know. Everett had his big run that kind of skews those stats. He had that 33-yard
Right.
run, so I don't know. When you look at it, we have 129 yards rushing, and you think, okay, like I'll take that, or it's not terrible, I guess. But when you kind of take Everett's out, we rush for under 100 yards.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, they did exactly what you said they should do. Ride Cam in these situations. Ride the
Mm-hmm.
sure-handed guy that's going to get us through the game and
Mm-hmm.
get us those tough yards. And I'm not going to disagree with that at all because I mean he proved it. He proved that he's the guy that can do that. And not that I don't think Greg Bryant or Folston could do that, but I mean, let's be honest. And as biased as I am towards Greg Bryant, I mean Cam's a sure-handed guy until proven otherwise. And I don't think I was upset Brian didn't get as many carries and Folston, but it's like at that time in the game, just win, please. Like let's just get out of this rain monsoon
Mm-hmm.
mess and let's win. And at one point in the game, I was thinking, man, the only thing that looks good right now is this beautiful field turf. Like that's what I was thinking in my
Could you
head.
imagine
Like,
if that game was on the old field?
oh man, it's a savior, and people can say, oh, it hurts people, it attributes to knee injuries. It's like, dude, nobody got hurt yesterday. It was clearly safer. Somebody could have easily torn an ACL trying to plant, and a beaver pelt of sod goes out from under him because for some reason Notre Dame can't maintain a natural grass field. But whatever, that field trip was awesome, and it's exactly why we put it in. I mean, we've had
Mm.
two home games this year that it rained at, so I mean, it would have been a mess.
Yeah. No, uh, I
Hit on your boy Cam. Come on, here's your
no,
run.
he's my boy. Don't get me wrong, but I was saying, my thing was let's use him in third downs and passing plays, and let's use him in the passing game, which we did against Syracuse a lot. But I'm okay with him getting 15 carries a game.
Okay,
But
but wait,
also,
wait, wait, wait. You're not giving yourself any credit here.
what?
What you just said is essentially let's use him on third downs because he's a sure-handed guy and a consistent, player for us. So essentially, you indirectly said what happened in this game.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
so
you're
give
right.
yourself a little bit of credit here.
I will take credit for being right on that. I just I want to see big plays out of the running game. Maybe it's just not our offense, but whenever it's got the longest run of the game, don't get me wrong, I love to see it, but I want to see Greg Bryant get out in the open field. I want to see Folsom get out in the open field. I want to see Cam get in the open field. I just don't think we're getting that. So I'm a little disappointed in our rushing game. But
Okay, well, we're a passing offense.
no, I don't get me wrong, I know. But you can't always I don't know. Just I'm trying to find something to talk bad about maybe. Maybe that's my problem. I just need to.
Well, I mean, look, we need to run the ball, and Brian Kelly's made it clear we're still going to try and run the ball no matter what. I mean, we still had 32 carries. So, I mean, we averaged 4 yards a carry, and Everett had the big run, and Procise had a big run. So between Everett, okay, the Everett and Procise run was 59 yards. Okay,
uh,
so take that away, and that
It's
really hurts your
70,
average.
70 yards by the three-headed monster.
Yeah, and it hurts your average yards per carry and whatnot, which right now it doesn't look terrible at 4, but it's not like eye popping.
No.
So I mean,
I just don't
look,
think the run game makes a difference in the game. I don't think there's no, I don't know.
no, I'm with you, and it starts with our offensive line that we've said all along, and
Hmm.
and we're not seeing that push that we want to see. And like we said, it's not going to be 1 week or 2 weeks. We need a little bit of time get these guys going. But I mean, honestly, we're a passing offense, which I'm fine with. I've always been, if you watch me play Madden, I mean, I'm slinging the ball 50 times a game in Madden, so it's like I never run. Like I
Hmm.
literally just drafted a fantasy draft team with my buddy Nick for an online franchise in Madden, and I have LaShawn McCoy and Jamal Charles as my running backs, and I run the ball like 6 times a game. So like, sling it. That's all I'm saying right here. Sling it.
All right. All
No, and
right.
no rhythm. Hit on the rhythm. Come on. Nobody's getting any. I mean, Cam, I guess, but like,
I and we've said it all season, but it's clearly not going to change. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sit here and rag on Brian Kelly and rag on the offense and the rushing game. I'm not. I mean, we've won 5 football games, so but yeah, I just don't understand how you can get in a rhythm when you use three guys the way we do. And
I agree.
maybe
I agree.
and Bill Beck said this in our Michigan episode. He said this is what college football is going to. So maybe it's just not us. Maybe I'm not paying attention hard enough to other teams, which I know I'm not because I just don't. But
I mean, Todd Gurley's getting 25 to 30 carries a game.
I mean, there's going to be guys on certain teams that are, they're going to be getting 25, 30 carries, but that's their offense. Apparently, that's not our offense, which is fine. If we keep winning, I'm not going to care. We could rush for 2 yards and we could be undefeated, and I won't care as long as we win.
And the good thing, I mean, you're making a point here that's making me think. We're nowhere near our offensive potential, and we're winning football games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're ranked number 5 now in the coaches polls.
5 in coaches, 6 in the AP.
Yeah. Okay. So we're right there, 5 games in. I don't want to say I'm totally shocked by that because I mean I was pretty optimistic as far as expectations going into this game or this year. I'm sorry. So I don't want to say I'm totally shocked, but I didn't. I mean, come on, nobody saw top 5 weeks in. Okay, so and we're nowhere near our offensive what am I looking for here? I'm freezing.
Expectations.
Expectations or yeah, okay, whatever. So it's we're winning football games and we're nowhere near how explosive I feel we can be on offense. I think we have a ton of speed on the outside. I mean, Chris Brown's fast, and hey, he's getting back into it again, which is great.
Hmm.
I mean, Chris Brown's fast. Corey Robinson's that big possession guy who's actually showed a little bit of elusiveness. Amir Carlisle, explosive in the slot. Fuller, top-end speed. Torrey Hunter Jr., freak athlete. CJ Prosise, athlete in the open field. It's like and when we get Daniels back, it's like another big possession guy who can also make a couple of guys miss. I feel like we're very explosive offensively. We just haven't gotten there yet. We've had glimpses of Fuller and his 72-yard touchdown catch, 75-yard touchdown catch. We see little glimpses of Prosise on the outside. We've seen Corey Robinson. We've seen Amir Carlisle show signs. Now we're seeing Chris Brown show signs. And I think we're very explosive offensively, and we're not quite where we will be at the end of the year, and that's a great problem to be in right now, in the position that we are, number 5 in the country, 5 weeks in.
Absolutely. You kind of started hitting on it, but receiving-wise, we spread the ball out again, and that's what I love about us. We got so many weapons, and that's why we do sling the balls, because we have these weapons. Got Chris Brown, 4 receptions, 60 yards, had the 1 touchdown. Corey Robinson had 4 receptions, 46 yards. Amir had 2 for 34. It was good to see him back after his injury. Koyak had 2 receptions, 28 yards, had the game winner in the corner of the end zone. Will Fuller, 3 receptions for 27 yards. His first game, he did not have a touchdown. I wonder if maybe they keyed on him a little bit. I didn't really.
He was double and triple teamed on a couple plays.
That's what I thought. I thought he has to be getting pretty keyed on. And that's going to happen, and we've talked about it, and we'll get more into it here in a second. Torrey Hunter Jr., 2 receptions for 24 yards. He's starting to slowly come back. We saw a glimpse in the Syracuse game. He showed a little more against Stanford. CJ Prosise had 2 receptions for 16 yards, and Folston had 1 for 6. So I guess I'll start with what I talked about. With Will Fuller getting keyed on and locked down on now, because he's shown he's our guy to go to. He's our go-to guy. He's a hell of a receiver. I think guys like Torrey Hunter and Corey Robinson and definitely Chris Brown are going to really have to pick up some slack here, and I think it's going to happen because I think we have so many weapons that if you key on Will Fuller, we're just going to sling it to the other side to Corey or to Chris Brown or to Amir in the slot or Torrey in the slot. So I love how many options we have.
I mean, look, you watched the game obviously, but being there in person, I noticed this all game. Stanford had 2 deep safeties essentially every single play. We were not going to beat them over the top. We were not going to beat them with a Fuller 75-yard touchdown, unless somebody just absolutely blew an assignment. That just wasn't going to happen. I think there was one play in the game where we might have been able to, and I think Everett either threw it poorly or something weird happened. But let's take it how it is. Stanford played two deep safeties the entire game. They were not allowing Fuller to beat us deep. They weren't allowing, when Everett was going to make a couple plays out of the pocket, extending plays. They weren't going to let him find anybody 50 yards down the field. They took that completely away from us, and they made Everett kind of take whatever he could get over the middle. And I think we used the middle pretty well. We hit pro sites on a pass over the middle, even on some of the drops. I mean, Corey Robinson on the final drive had a drop over the middle. They were kind of giving us a little bit of cushion in the middle. And Everett, you could see Everett make a point to kind of look at that, and as a result of the two deep safeties and a little man-to-man coverage on the outside, and with our explosiveness and with our pass of beating people deep, we could run a 20-yard comeback. And then we did that a couple times to Chris Brown, and we did it once to we tried to Fuller, but we took exactly what they gave us, and that's another good thing. We didn't force anything into double coverage, 50 yards down the field in a monsoon with 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts where something terrible is going to happen. So we took advantage of those guys playing man-to-man. Everett had time in the pocket, so he could, and he could slide out, so he could hit a guy on a 20-yard comeback. And, that just shows the versatility of our offense, and you can take whatever you want away from us, but we probably have something that can counter it.
Right. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I love how many options we have, and if we get Tavares back, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great to see.
I think Tavares is big time for us because it just gives us that other piece.
Exactly. It's one more guy that I want to see a defense cover Corey Robinson, Will Fuller, and Tavares Daniels on one play.
And Carlisle in the slot.
And Carlisle in the slot, or even Torrey Hunter in the slot. I want to see it happen.
That brings people don't realize that, and people are saying we're not good offensively, and we've had our struggles, but we've had our signs of brilliance. So when you put it in those terms, and people will hear that and kind of say, wow, we are nowhere near our explosive potential offensively, and it's freaky because we're going to be, whenever it gets in a rhythm with those guys out there, it's going to be dumb.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, and hopefully we can get Tavares back before Florida State. I think that would be a key to that game. So all in all, offense as a whole, anything you took out of that game, watching the offense, obviously the number one defense in the nation, so you can't really get too mad that we only, rushed for the yards we did and only threw for 241. But you know what? We pulled off a win, and that's all you got to do in this sport. You just got to win.
Yeah, so you got to pull them out, and our schedule's okay enough that we don't have to win every game by 50, but we do have a committee that we need to somewhat impress. So like there are some games, like I think Purdue could potentially, they played us really tough, and I understand we ended up taking control of the game, and same thing in Syracuse. But I think those games could potentially hurt you down the road because it's like college basketball. You're trying to impress a selection committee.
Right.
So it's not a BCS computer that sees you 1 by 16 and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, take exactly like you said. It was weather was atrocious. Number one defense in the country we were playing against. Number one passing defense in the country. Everett had 241 yards. He had an interception that he forced. So it's not even like the defense really forced that interception. It was a good game. Okay, considering the elements, Everett had the flu. A lot of things going against us for the type of offense that we run, weather-wise, and Everett being sick. So you got to take exactly what you can away from it. 370 total yards of offense against the number one defense in the country. I'll take that every single time.
Absolutely. And so, all right, well, we'll move on to defense here real quick.
What are you drinking tonight?
I'm not drinking anything, man.
Wow, that's weird. That's a first.
Diet Coke. I got a meeting here soon. I just still recovering from this week in a little bit too.
We got 2 live viewers now, so I'm drinking a Dirty Blonde.
Who is the second live viewer? Tweet at us. Make yourself known, please.
Yeah, let us know it's you so we can say what up.
All right. Well, defense came out, performed again.
Our defense is the real deal.
I think it's better than I'm safe to. I don't, what do you think? Better
Go
than
ahead, say it.
2012
Go ahead.
defense?
Go ahead.
I
Go
think it's
ahead.
better than 2012 defense. I really do. There's a lot more team speed. Um,
Oh, it's freaky.
yeah, and the nothing against Bob Diaco, but I Van Gorder is a heck of a coach. And he's got a great system in place. I can't remember. I think it was the last drive. I can't remember the blitz he called, the stunt he called. It had the two linebackers X'd. I can't remember who came across. It was one of the safeties came across the middle.
The last play?
Yes, it was the last
It
play.
was
Yeah, you're
shooting,
right.
I
Yeah,
believe.
shooting. Okay, yeah, that was it's just great play call, and I
Yeah, I mean, if that's Diaco, we're rushing 3 guys, and
we're sitting back
yeah, we have 8 guys in the end zone essentially.
playing prevent defense, but the prevent defense prevents nothing but field goals. Um,
There you
so
go.
Kevin Hogan for Stanford went 18 for 36, passed for 158 yards, had 2 interceptions, both by Cole Luke. Kid had a heck of a game, that guy. There's your defense MVP right there. They rushed for 47 yards total as a team. I get negative 16 of that was because of Kevin Hogan, and 13 it says from the team. But we held their guys in check in the rushing game, and I just there's not much to say about this defense anymore because they've come out every week and proved that they're the real deal. I mean, you got 3 guys flying to the ball at all times between Jalen Smith, Schmidt, and it's fun to watch. I almost like watching our defense more than our offense.
I mean, very true, and it's fast, and the scheme is perfect for the speed that we have. I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine the potential that we would be holding back if we were bend but don't break right now if Diaco was still here? You know, everyone was all kind of butthurt. Man, Diaco, big loss. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but considering who Brian Kelly hired in Van Gorder, I mean, it's perfect. The team speed is just, it's amazing. Our closing speed on plays. Jalen Smith is a freak of nature that, I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. It's like he's kind of quietly just being, he's probably got to be the quietest All-American in the country. I mean, it's just amazing what that guy does when you watch that guy play. Like you said, Cole Luke, I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, that defense, Van Gorder and secondary coach has a predicament on their hands if Kavari is to come back, because how can you not play Cole Luke right now?
I said you play him until he breaks. Honestly, I mean
he's unbelievable, and he's playing out of his mind. And you can say, I guess Riggs is more of a nickel guy, and he's probably a little bit more comfortable there. But I mean, he's even playing lights out at corner. He's making plays. I mean, Kavari's a beast, and he's probably top 3 corner in the country going into the season. I mean, no doubt. So it's going to be hard to keep a guy like him off the field. But I mean, what are you going to do? I mean,
maybe we can rotate second or cornerbacks and safeties like we do running backs.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
But
So, I mean, you can look at the defensive side of the ball. We haven't allowed more than 17 points all year, and I think I wrote it down. That's the first time since 1973 that our first 5 opponents have been held for 17 points or less, and we won the national championship that year. So take that how you will. I mean, we held Stanford to their lowest average yards per play at 3 points or 3 yards. I mean, since 2006, and our defense is for real. Okay, they only had 47 yards rushing. A team that is known and well documented to just smash mouth football, run it down your throat. We are going to dominate you at the line of scrimmage. 47 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
They had 205 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch, man. I just don't know what to say about it. It's fun to watch.
It's really fun to watch, and we limited their best player, Ty Montgomery. Explosive guy. One of the most explosive guys probably in the country, definitely in the Pac-12, and that says a lot because the Pac-12 is loaded with athletes. But he's a beast. I mean, he had 3 catches. What do you get? 5 catches for 14 yards.
4 catches. It says 4 for 12 yards on mine. But either way. Doesn't
Whatever.
really matter.
It's the same thing. So, I mean, our defense is unreal. We haven't
It,
given up a point in the third quarter. We've only given up 5.2 points in the entire second half of the year.
and that's the time that matters. That's when we have to be. I mean, not saying the first half isn't important, but I'd rather have our defense stopping guys in the second half than the first half.
Yeah, and games like Purdue and even Stanford, were they're close games at halftime, and they came out and just shut them out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think there's much more to say about the defense because they're good. They're the real deal.
They're really good, and now we're even getting Collinsworth back, and it's like so much depth now that everyone's kind of working their way back. If we get Kavari back, the depth, man,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun to watch, like you said. I mean, those guys are just flying around.
Yeah. So, well, we'll just kind of close our recap real fast. I'll start with what I kind of took out of that game. It's the best team we've played so far this year, no doubt. Best defense in the nation. Not a pretty decent quarterback, Kevin Hogan. Like you said, Ty Montgomery. Don't have a horrible rushing attack. It's a win's a win, and a lot of people were like, "Well, we should have scored more than 17 points." And no, I called it in the radio show this week. This game was going to be a dogfight till the end, and I was very ready for us to have to win it on a drive like we did. So I'm pleased with the win. I'm taking nothing negative out of this game, even with Everett only throwing for 241 yards and 20 for 43. I'm not taking anything negative because that's a hell of a football team we just beat, and anytime you can beat a top 25 team, I don't care. I just want to win. So
Yeah,
great.
I mean, to your point, Brian Kelly has said a million times it's hard to win in college football. And I mean that has to be the case. Ask Alabama. The last three ranked teams that they've played, they've lost. It is hard to win in college football.
Mhm.
Oregon, you can't even beat Arizona at home. The last 2 years, I mean, they beat you at home. Well, at Arizona last year, but I mean, Oregon has lost to Arizona. Rich Rodriguez dumpster fire at Michigan 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
So it's like it is hard to win in college football. I mean, there's nothing that you can tell me otherwise, and especially this year because there's no dominant team. No team is standing out like in previous years. Like let's just say Alabama a couple years ago. I mean,
Mhm.
clearly they stood out as the best team in the country, and there were people were talking about could they beat I guess at the time the Miami Dolphins were terrible. Could they beat the Miami Dolphins? And I mean, come on, you got to be doing something right if that's what's going on. People are saying that. So, it's hard to win in college football, and you beat a top 15 team coming in as the number one defense in the country. I don't care if you're at home. I don't care where you're playing. It's a quality win. And we were on the Down the Tunnel radio show last Thursday. And I said, I think this is the worst Stanford team that we've seen in the last couple of years under David Shaw, and I still believe that. I think the weather had a lot to do with it, and the timing of our turnovers had a lot to do with it. Because I think we left some points on the board, and we could have made it look a little bit worse than what it was. But the bottom line is we won the game,
Mhm.
and that's just what you have to stick with.
Right. Yep. Win is a win. So 5-0. Moving on to North Carolina, ACC opponent at home. It A lot of people usually talk about a trap game. I would classify this as a trap game. We have at the number one team the next weekend. It's going to be hard for some guys not to look forward to that game. It was announced today. It will be prime time on ABC. I mean, we all knew it would be, but it was announced officially today. Um, uh, Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So I think this is your definition. This is the absolute trap game we're going to have this year. Um, so you can, if you want to talk about that at all, but I'm not worried about this week, but I'm afraid there's going to be some guys maybe looking forward to that Florida State game. I mean, I'm already looking forward to it, so it's hard not to.
Yeah, and to hit that, I mean, Brian Kelly said we're a young group. and that's what we are. We're a very young group, and I think that, like he said, and it's kind of assured me that maybe hopefully we're not looking past North Carolina. We're a young group. We want to go play everybody every week. We don't really, we're not 2012, a pretty experienced group that could overlook somebody essentially because they just want to get to that Florida State game. So I really hope that he's right in that aspect, and I don't know really what to think of it. I want to agree with him, so I'm just going to agree with him. Um, they're not a very good football team. They've beaten Liberty and San Diego State, both at home. They lost to East Carolina. They gave up 70 points to East Carolina, and they're ranked, okay, but I mean, come on. We're not talking. I mean, we're not talking like they gave up 70 points to Alabama. I mean, it's East Carolina. So take take whatever you want out of that, but that to me is just I can't believe that they gave up 50 to Clemson the next week. They lost at Virginia Tech this past weekend, 34-17, and I think that game was a little bit closer than the score, based on kind of what I had seen of it. Whether that be the case or not, I mean, bottom line, this is not a very good football team. With not, I mean, I don't want to say they don't have good playmakers. They have Elijah Hood, who Notre Dame recruited very hard, who was initially committed to Notre Dame's class for last year. And he was a 5-star guy on a couple sites, 4-star on some others. It doesn't matter. He's an explosive football player. I mean, he's there. He's averaging 4.3 yards a carry this year. He's got 166 yards on the year. It seems like they run him and the Williams guy. He gets the majority of the carries, but Elijah Hood's getting them. He's young. He's probably their best running back. He's just working them into the mix, I guess. They've played 2 quarterbacks. I don't know, maybe because they gotten blown out to the point where they just played their backup, but their starter, whose last name is Williams, let me click on his name. Marquise Williams. Okay. He went, let's see, Virginia Tech. He went 17 for 33, 187 yards, which is only 51% completion, only 5.5 yards per attempt. Had a touchdown. He was sacked 5 times. So, offensive line. Oh my God! Look at these sacks.
Yeah, if we can get some pressure on it could, and I guarantee we're going to bring some pressure. There's no doubt about it.
That's the recipe of our D.
Yeah. So, if we can get some pressure on that quarterback and get through that offensive line, it's going to be a rough day for the old Tar Heels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care who you play. I mean, if you put up, he was 20 for 29 for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 69% completion percentage against San Diego State. I mean, they won 31-27. So to me, that seems like I didn't watch the game and I have no idea really, but just looking at those stats, that seems to me like he probably had to have a drive to win the game. Or something along those lines. It was a close enough game. Like I said, I didn't watch it, so don't quote me 100%. Against Liberty, he was 19 for 29, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's going to be. He had 4 touchdowns against Clemson. I don't know if any of that was garbage time against their second string or whatnot. So, I mean, obviously he can play football. He's a Division I quarterback. But I think we should be able to handle them pretty well. We should be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. There's nothing to me that really jumps out and scares me. They have some athletes on the outside, just like everywhere does. I mean, it's Division I college football. You're going to have athletes everywhere. I mean, Elijah Hood's a great example. He's a very young running back that's just probably waiting to just burst onto the scene. So, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to the game still. I'm still going to go to the game, and I'm still going to watch the game the exact same way I normally watch the game. I just hope I'm watching it with a huge smile on my face, and I'm hoping it's not the second quarter, and, we're only up 10-7 or something along those lines, which is very, very possible because, as you said, trap game.
Yep.
It could be a massive trap game. I mean, we're a very bad team right before the number 1 team in the country. I mean, you hit it on the head. It is a trap game.
Yeah, and so I guess my keys offensively, we just got to keep what we've been doing. We just got to sling the ball around and make things happen. There's not much else to do. Defensively, I think we really got to put some pressure on the quarterback, and pretty much we just got to play our normal game. There's nothing like that says we got to do this to win. We just need to play our game and go in and take care of business, do what we can do, and then when that game ends, start preparing for Florida State. So
It'd be nice to, get to the point where Everett might not have to play the fourth quarter or
I would
something,
love to see Malik play a quarter this week. That
Yeah,
would be. I think that would be the ideal situation. So
yeah, and it'd be good to maybe, hopefully we hear something on the Frozen Five or whatever you want to
and
call
if
them.
they could come back this week and we could get them in and get them back in a game situation, because I don't think they've practiced, right? They have
No,
not.
they have
They
not.
haven't practiced all year. So, I mean, these guys are. I'm sure they've been working out on the side, but
They're allowed to work out with Longo, strength and conditioning coach.
okay. So I'm sure they're doing some stuff. I'm not sure they're just sitting on their butts and doing nothing, but they still haven't been in a game situation, which is a whole different thing than practice. And so it'd be great to get these guys in and get them some reps. So almost use it as a practice if we get to that point. So
I'm with you there. I mean, it would be, other than the bye week, it would be perfect timing to get those guys
exactly,
back.
I think this would be a perfect game to have that happen. So you got any keys or anything else you want to talk about as opposed to or as that regards to this week?
No, I like what you said. I mean, put pressure on the quarterback like we do pretty much every week. Just be aggressive, play our game. If Notre Dame plays their game, it's consistent with what they've been doing and what their plans are to move forward. There's no reason. I don't know. I've you know predicted. I guess I've predicted that Notre Dame would score 60 points against Syracuse, or this is a game that we should score 60 points in. So it's like, and I've clearly been wrong, and I thought we would beat Stanford a little bit more than we did, and we probably could have, depending on turnover situation and whatnot. But it's a game we should handle, and I just hope nobody's looking past it because it's something that's very possible for them to do. You hit it on the head.
Hmm. All right. Well, if you have nothing else, I don't anything you want to talk about. I just there's that's the bad thing about this game for us. There's not much to talk about it.
We'll have a ton next week.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to start talking Florida State and Jameis and I'm just biting at the bit to see him. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotta stop that. I'm
yeah,
already looking ahead. It's gonna be a trap game now. I'm already looking ahead.
that might be a 4-hour show.
And okay, I'm down for it. Um, well, you want to play a little pick'em?
Yeah, sure, of course. I'm always
All
up
right.
for that.
I got a slate of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games because we've missed the last 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I don't have our records on hand right now, but I will tweet them out later.
Pretty much, in case you don't know, we are pretty much I don't want to say sacrificing, but maybe to kind of give you guys a little bit more in one episode instead of having to find more than one link, I guess. We're trying to put this all into one show so that it's easier for you guys to kind of take some time and listen if that's what you want to do. Hopefully it is. That way you're not searching for 2 links a week and we're not posting 2 links a week and whatnot. So, and plus we have, we're part of Down the Tunnel. We contribute to their live radio show, which we really like doing, and we're going to continue doing. But we used to do a Monday, Thursday show. Monday being a recap and Thursday being a little bit of a preview, which you guys can just catch us there. We're partners. We want you guys to catch us there, and we want them, all their listeners, to catch us here. So that's kind of our thought process behind that.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's start a little pick'em here. The old Red River Shootout is this week, Texas, Oklahoma. I'm going to go with Oklahoma. Texas is still in shambles, I think. Still rebuilding over there. What do you got?
I kind of feel bad for Texas, to be honest. It's almost like I almost feel bad for Michigan. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait, whoa.
I'm just kidding. Absolutely not. That's a dumpster fire that I could literally just sit and roast marshmallows over for the rest of my life.
We should have campfire around it.
We should.
Bonfire.
Come on, Brady Hoke cannot make it through the year. There's no way.
I don't think they'll fire him during the. I just don't think they'll fire him.
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know, because I don't think they're that institution. I don't see Notre Dame ever doing it. I don't know if you do. If we didn't do it with Charlie Weiss, I don't think we're ever going to do it with anybody. So.
I don't know. I guess I want to play a game before we play Pick'em real quick.
All right.
Let's look at Michigan's upcoming schedule. I want you to document this for both of us. Okay.
I love it right now.
let's look at Michigan's upcoming schedule, which I'm looking at mgoblue.com, which I don't really like. It's kind of, oh, here we go.
I'm screwed. Okay,
Okay,
what are we doing here? So I can write it down.
Okay, they are currently 2-4. Okay.
Right.
They have a game this weekend against Penn State, which buy your 20-ounce Coke and get 2 free tickets, or I guess however many tickets you like. That's their Under the Lights game. Which,
hey man, I have a lot of Michigan tickets to give away. You know how I like my Diet Coke.
There you go. So hey, let's hit on the relevance of how. Remember how we kind of said in that preview show to Michigan, how it seems like they're really butthurt that we don't want to play them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of claim that we're chicken or whatever. I don't really care because they're just ignorant. Let's just hit this again.
Okay.
Michigan clearly needs Notre Dame because their night primetime game at home this year, which previously was against Notre Dame for the past two times that they have done that, which broke attendance records both times for a college football game in history, is now against Penn State. That they are selling Cokes for to get tickets.
And it's not even on ESPN, it's on ESPN 2.
Really?
Yes. So, and I guess the Michigan State game, it says to be determined still. I would assume that to be an afternoon. It's at Michigan State. I don't see, after Michigan State's poor showing this week, I don't think ABC is going back there.
Are they going to put that prime time? I mean, come on.
Michigan State. I mean, they could. It depends. Depends what the other games are that week.
Okay,
Indiana.
but anyways, so like we said, Michigan needs our rivalry. Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
We're over that now. So this is their upcoming schedule: Penn State at home, at Michigan State, home to Indiana, at Northwestern, home to Maryland, at Ohio State, and that concludes their schedule. How many games? They're at 2 wins right now. Over under 4 wins the rest of the year, like combined. So 2 more wins on that schedule.
Okay, I don't see them beating Penn State. I do not see them beating Michigan State. Indiana's going to be a close game. I see them pulling it out. It's at home. So there's 3. Northwestern. What's Northwestern's record? You know?
They're not awful, but they're not.
They're never really awful, but they've
won 2 quality games.
I'm going to give Michigan a win there. I'm going to say they don't beat Maryland, and they absolutely don't beat Ohio State. So you said over under 4 total wins?
Yep.
I'm at 4, so I'm going to take the over.
Okay. I do not see them beating Penn State this weekend in front of under 100,000, but they'll claim that that's how many will be there. They will probably get beat by, I don't know. Do you think Michigan State beats them worse than we did?
Yes, they're good. I mean, we're good too.
I think they're good, but I think we could have scored more than 31 points.
No, we probably could have, but I do see Michigan State scoring more points. It's at Michigan State. I could see, I don't know. I really could care less, honestly.
I think it's weird. On their schedule, they put that you can take the Amtrak to that game.
There we go. Hey, you want to go?
No.
Hey, we can buy a ticket for $50 this week for the game at Michigan.
That's kind of expensive. I would. That's more than I thought it'd be.
I would. Oh, wait, we can buy versus Maryland $23.
Oh, dude, that has to be an all-time low. That's like Purdue selling tickets for $23. I mean, come on.
That's like a freaking minor league baseball stadium. Buy your ticket and get a free hot dog and a beer.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather go watch single A baseball.
South Bend Cubs.
Yeah. So, okay, they don't beat Penn State. They don't beat Michigan State. I don't think they beat Indiana because their defense is god-awful, and Indiana can put some points on the board.
You know what? IU has played Michigan tough every year, I think, for like the past 5 years, too.
It was an overtime game last year or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. But also, I think IU is about the worst program in the Big Ten right now. So.
Okay, whatever. So, I'm not giving them that win. I think they somehow – I bet they beat Northwestern. They're going to – I don't think they beat Maryland, and I don't think they beat Ohio State.
So you're going the
under. Under 3 wins. Under 4 wins for Michigan.
What are we putting on this, my friend? Case of beer?
Yeah, not hams. I'm talking like, I don't know, case of Miller Lite.
I'm not drinking. I'd rather No, 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 no.
You'd rather drink Hamm's than Miller Lite?
Yes.
Oh God.
I'd rather not spend money for Miller
Okay, well
Lite.
I'll buy
No,
you a case of Hamm's. You can spend the extra
no, I
money.
say we go a pitcher of summertime.
A pitcher. Oh, okay.
The thing is summertime. We'll go with
Okay.
that.
Deal.
So, all right, I got the over, you got the under.
And they don't worry, guys. They have the Big Ten championship game on here, on their schedule.
Uh,
So take
that's
that. Yeah.
no, that's okay.
All right.
All right, fun game there. All right, we'll have to see. I always love trolling Michigan. It's always
Oh,
a fun time.
absolutely.
And I think we just did a good job of that. So, all right, shall we move on to pick 'em?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, we'll go back and do it. Texas, Oklahoma, Red River Shootout rivalry. I got Oklahoma. Texas is in shambles. What do you got?
Oklahoma bounce back. Probably win by 40 plus.
Yep, always a good, fun game to watch, though. Indiana, Iowa, Big Ten matchup.
Good thing our boy Mike's not in here anymore because I'm IU.
Yeah, you're gonna go IU. I'm gonna go Iowa. IU just I don't know what's going on over there. Georgia, Missouri, a little SEC battle. Two pretty decent teams. I think both top 25.
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Okay, well, I didn't. Sorry, I was looking at Twitter. Who are we picking here?
Georgia, Missouri.
Oh yeah, Georgia.
Okay. Then I got Cincinnati and Miami. Miami U.
Gunner Keel. Let's go with Gunner.
All right, you're gonna take Cincy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you on that. I'm gonna take Cincy as well. Auburn, Mississippi State, biggest game of the weekend, I'd say probably. 2 versus 3.
Nah, I'd argue Michigan Penn State's the biggest game.
I'm not even going there. Who do you got between Auburn and Mississippi State?
Auburn. Auburn poops on Mississippi State's little parade they have going. They probably win by 2 scores.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I think they carry the momentum and make things happen.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that pays off for you.
Yeah, that's right. Then we're gonna go over to the West Coast, Pac-12. A good matchup over there. Oregon, UCLA. UCLA coming off the loss this week. Oregon as well. Who you got?
UCLA sucks, and they haven't played well all year. Huge letdown year. I mean, they can't beat Oregon.
I'm going Oregon as well. Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Another SEC battle.
Miss.
Ole Miss, baby. I'm a big Ole Miss guy. I love Ole Miss.
I would rather them lose though, so Notre Dame can move up. But whatever.
Yeah, that's all right. Then we got the big game in Muncie, Indiana for the weekend. Homecoming. It's going to be a great day. I can't say I'm going to watch the Notre Dame game Saturday. I'm going to have to rewatch it Sunday because I'll be cheering on the old Cardinals. Ball State, Western Michigan. Who we got?
Western Michigan you can't handle that speed.
Look, I can't pick against Ball State, but man,
They suck, dude.
It's a rebuilding year in Muncie.
It's a
rebuilding year in Muncie. Hey, we're gonna be back next year though. We're gonna have a quarterback, maybe, hopefully.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. Brady Hoke's gonna get fired, and he's gonna take the head coaching job at Ball State.
No.
He's gonna bring you back to the promised land.
No, that's all right. I will transfer schools for the 3rd time. Or second time. Sorry, second time. I'll be coming, I don't know, Ivy Tech or something.
Wow.
Then we got the game of the week. Obviously, we're both going to pick Notre Dame, so what's your score?
Notre Dame wins 45-3.
3. I'm going to go with 32-10. I think we have some garbage time towards the end. We might give up a little bit and kind of back off. So
yeah. Well, I guess we're about to wrap it up, eh?
Yeah. It sucks that we just really don't have a lot to talk about with North Carolina coming to town, but I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more. I know I can't make it on the radio show this week again. I apologize. This is my last week that I'm this busy, so Kevin, I apologize. But I know you and Kevin will handle the ropes, and you guys will have a lot of good content on Thursday, and you'll be tweeting about that, and tweeting out the number. So
before we get into anything for us, I want to thank the Harlows and the Down the Tunnel crew. We hung out with Kevin this weekend, and a lot of guys we got to meet. I know Andy Irish Wonders there. I got to meet Irish Tightness. Always look forward to hearing his stuff. Good to finally meet some people, put some faces together. We met Stickmania, Mrs. Trudge, ton of people. I mean, I can't even name everybody, but huge thank you to Andy Irish Wonder. He loaned me his winter gloves for the game, and I can tell you this. If I did not have those gloves, I would have been absolutely miserable throughout the game. So thank you to you. Thank you to Michelle and Jimmy Harlow. Um, you guys hosted an awesome tailgate. Um, Glad we all got to hang out, and it was a great time. Glad we got to meet everybody. I know Irish Tightness. I told him I'd buy him a beer, and he shows up and he's like, "Where's my beer?" And I'm like, "You know what? This is actually terrible timing because I literally just drank our last beer, and we had one of the girls was drinking that we were with Reds. They were drinking Reds, and I was like, I can get you Reds, and he's like, dude, are you kidding me? He's like just giving me that weird look, and I'm like, okay. And like I guess there was other beer, but like I don't know. I brought my own beer. I feel weird taking other people's beer. I guess I don't know. So I
Yes.
drank my last Miller Lite, and to Irish Tightness, I apologize. Next time you're in town, I'll buy you an Irish car bomb. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, I can't wait to get into town one of these weekends and meet everybody. You know, we all tweet at each other, we all look at each other's tweets, but I'm ready to meet some people for
What's
real.
gonna be funny is you're gonna show up, and I'm gonna be sitting next to you, and I mean I'm not short, and you're a good inch taller than me.
I am.
We're literally gonna be just towering over people.
That's right. Everyone's going to know we're there. So I do want to say a quick shout out to our buddy, one of the ND football family on Twitter, Notre Josh. He's going through a tough time right now. We're thinking about you, buddy. Hang in there. Also, want to shout out to Kevin at Down the Tunnel. He's going through a couple things right now with theirs. He's also, we're going to help him out in any way, as always, because he's helped us out. So. We'll wrap it up here. As always, check us out on Podbean, From the Dome. Is it straight from the dome or from the dome?
God, I don't know.
Either way, it's on podbean.com.
It's on our Twitter. Just hit our
Yeah,
Twitter.
we'll send out a link here. Follow us on Twitter at From the Dome 1842. Like us on Facebook. We're almost at 100 likes.
Almost at 100 likes on Facebook and 100 followers on Twitter.
Nice. So we're getting there. Really, we're really excited about what we're doing here. We got a lot of things in the works. I'm working on a website where we're gonna have all the videos and audio and on one site, and there's gonna be a couple bios about me and Bray, history of the show, and we might post some stuff on there here and there, just to keep it going. So I'm working on that. We're trying to get on iTunes. That should happen here soon.
Yeah, we're pretty much retarded. Like, I couldn't figure it out.
So yeah, and I tried today, and it just wasn't happening. So a lot of big things in the works with us. We appreciate everyone that tunes in and gives us support. Hopefully we can keep this going and make this a thing. So I do want to say, though, Cardinals are up 1-0 on the Dodgers. So big game out in St. Louis tonight.
Yeah.
Big game. John Lackey, who we traded for this year's pitching, looks like he's not pitching bad.
You better watch out for the Cubs, man.
Don't have to worry about it this year.
They're on their way, though, I tell you what.
We'll see. I made a bet with one of my fraternity brothers. 2020, he says they will win a World Series by 2020.
Oh, definitely. They're going to be.
No.
Definitely.
I said no. So.
You see the talent that they have?
I've heard that so many times from Cubs fans. So.
No, you haven't. That's absolutely false. That's probably one of the most false things you've ever said in your life.
There's nothing worse than Michigan fans except for one thing, and that's Cubs fans.
Oh my God!
No, I take that back. Reds fans. I hate the Reds. Oh God, don't even get started. But all right, well, let's wrap it up here. Let's end this thing. I got things to do. You got things to do. So check us out on Twitter, like us on Facebook, check out our YouTube, check out our Podbean, check out our website when it comes out. Follow us both on Twitter, and go Irish.
We will be on Down the Tunnel radio show this week. Just look for that Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Augie, have a good night, buddy.
You too, my man.
All right. Go Irish.
Go Irish.